Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Tuesday, April 8th. Coming up on Cullman Today, Senate Bill 40 is signed, a U.S. Senate candidacy announced, and a Bloomin Fest recap. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Governor Kay Ivey on Monday signed Senate Bill 40 to promote voluntary and temporary firearms storage to reduce suicide rates for Alabama residents. The law establishes firearm hold agreements between individuals and federal firearm licensees and creates the Storing Ammunition and Firearms to Enhance Resilience Together program. The law is tabbed the Houston Hunter Act, named after Army veteran Houston Tumlin and Marine veteran Hunter Whitley, who both lost their lives to suicide. It is also one of 3 preliminary recommendations from the Alabama Veterans Mental Health Steering Committee. The uptick in Alabama's focus regarding veterans' suicide prevention follows statewide effort Alabama's Challenge for Preventing Suicide Among Service Members, Veterans, and their Families, which aims to combat the continuing stigma veterans face with mental illness. Democrat Dakari Lariat has announced his candidacy for the United States Senate for the 2026 election. The seat is currently held by Senator Tommy Tuberville, whose term is up January 3, 2027. Tuberville back in November declared he will run for re-election. However, rumors have swirled that he could possibly run for Alabama governor. According to Lariat's announcement, he says he is passionate about creating a better Alabama for all its citizens. He says he is committed to fostering balance and civility and equipping law enforcement with the resources they need while promoting trust and accountability. A University of Alabama graduate, corporate leader, and business owner, Lariat believes that hard work must be rewarded and that Alabama should be a place where businesses thrive and workers get a fair chance. Lariat says his campaign is rooted in a vision of thriving Alabama, where every citizen has the chance to succeed and feel proud of their home. For those of us who didn't make it to this year's Bloomin Festival, our very own Annabelle House brings us this recap.
St. Bernard Abbey was bursting with creativity and color this weekend during its 41st annual Bloomin Festival, welcoming visitors from across the region. Held April 5th and 6th, the festival featured more than 150 skilled craftsmen from across the South, showcasing everything from handcrafted pottery and woven baskets to jewelry, woodwork, and festival favorites like strawberry waffles and monk bread. Between the beauty of the Abbey grounds and the creativity of the vendors, the Bloomin Festival is truly one of Cullman's most beautiful and cherished traditions. Although Sunday's outdoor festivities were canceled due to storms, Saturday saw a steady stream of visitors to enjoy the beauty of our rich Cullman tradition. Handmade lemonade stands throughout the festival helped beat the heat, and the stunning Ave Maria Grotto offered discounted admission for festival goers. Festival attendees fell in love with the strawberry waffles and the chocolate lavender candy apples. From open till close, people enjoyed fun food, live music, and found some beautiful treasures among the tents. Although the community only got to enjoy one day of festivities, the excitement of this year's Bloomin Festival has us eagerly waiting for next year. This has been Annabelle House with Cullman Today.
And those are the top stories in Cullman today. Coming up, West Point downs Danville. Sports is next. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of our latest local baseball action. After falling to Priceville on the road, West Point returned home Friday night to host a varsity matchup against Danville, and the Warriors bounced back with a 7-2 win over the Hawks. Danville loaded the bases in the top of the first and ended up scoring on a passed ball to take a 1-0 lead. West Point got the run back in the bottom of the half inning. Titan Thornton reached on a one-out error, and later in the inning, Jay Lamar hit the first pitch he saw into center field for an RBI single to tie the game at 1. Neither team was able to break the tie in the second inning, but the Warriors were able to pull ahead in the bottom of the third. 3 straight errors allowed West Point to load the bases, and Skylar Eccles scored on a passed ball to give them a 2-1 lead. Charlie Ashley added a sacrifice fly to make it a 3-1 game going into the fourth. After a scoreless fourth inning, the Warriors added to their lead in the bottom of the fifth. Boston Freeman hit a one-out double to center field, and a few pitches later, Ashley lined an RBI triple to center field to put West Point ahead 4-1. Lamar followed that up with his second RBI single of the game, extending the lead to 5-1 going into the sixth. The Hawks cut the lead to 5-2 in the top of the sixth, but the Warriors hit right back in their half of the inning. A single and a walk put runners on first and second with 2 outs, and Hunter Graves and Carter McAfee both scored on an error to give West Point a 7-2 lead. Danville put a pair of runners on in the top of the seventh, but Josh Cherry collected the final 2 outs of the game to help seal a 7-2 win for the Warriors. Lamar and Ashley each drove in a pair of runs for West Point. Freeman added a pair of hits, and Graves added a hit of his own in the win. Cherry went the distance on the mound, allowing 1 earned run on 6 hits and striking out 7. West Point will travel to Russellville tonight for an area matchup with the Tigers. And that wraps up sports for today. After the break, we'll bring you 4 stories in under 4 minutes, including local NASP winners and a young writer's workshop. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Annabelle Howes attended last week's dinner with the Drumline and brings us our first of 4 stories in 4.
It was a night full of good food and music at Cullman High School as the Bearcat Band hosted its annual Dinner with the Drumline fundraiser on Thursday, April 3rd. The event featured performances from both the high school and middle school percussion ensembles, plus dinner from Johnny's Barbecue and fun door prizes. While the concert was free, proceeds from the dinner helped raise money for the percussion equipment like drumheads, sticks, and cymbals. Assistant band director Doug Toysher says the event is all about putting the spotlight on the drummers, who often play a background role in the band. Graduating seniors were also honored for their years in the band program, some having been involved for as long as 7 years. Each senior was awarded a drumhead from the specific drum they played this past marching season that the entire ensemble had signed. With a large audience, wonderful performances, and strong community support, the night hit all the right notes. Thanks to events like Dinner with the Drumline, we can give these musicians the equipment they need to succeed in the spotlight that they deserve. This has been Annabelle Howes with Cullman Today.
Area schools racked up at this year's NASP Alabama State Championship in Montgomery. NASP stands for National Archery in the Schools program. East Elementary School and Cullman Middle School both earned wins, and Vinemont High School and Vinemont Elementary finished second in their respective divisions. Highest individual local scorers were high school boys Tyson James from Vinemont tied with Noah May from Good Hope. High school girls Anna Lee McRae Vinemont was the winner. Middle school boys and girls, both from Cullman Middle School, Owen Murphy and Gabby Sartain. Elementary boys, Trevor Bone from East Elementary, and elementary girls, Isabella McDonald from West Elementary. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is reminding Alabama residents that the REAL ID Act of 2005 will go into effect on May 7, 2025. This means Alabamians planning to fly domestic in the United States or enter certain federal facilities will need a REAL ID compliant driver's license, known as Star ID in Alabama, or another acceptable form of identification such as a passport. Your regular Alabama driver's license will continue to be valid for driving, voting, and other everyday activities. To avoid prolonged wait times, you're encouraged to schedule an appointment online for Star ID services at www.alabamadl.alea.gov. The main branch of the Cullman County Public Library will host the Young Writers Workshop for Encourage a Young Writer Day on Friday, April 10th at 4 p.m. Cullman County Public Library System Assistant Director Shelby Creekmore said this isn't their first writing workshop, but they are excited to offer this program free of charge several times throughout the year. She added that the workshop targets kids and young adult aspiring authors and is led by Dorinda Doyle, a local children's author who will provide information about the writing and publishing processes and share helpful resources for getting started. Participants do not have to register or bring any materials. Everything they need will be provided by the library. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look ahead at the weather and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this message.
Almonds in full bloom in the newest edition of Community Matters from the Cullman Tribune. Discover fresh dining spots, celebrate community connections, and meet local heroes making a real difference. From stunning sights to courtside lights, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Pick up your free copy around town or read it online today. Community Matters. Get to know your community.
Let's take a moment to pause and pay our respects to those who lost their lives this week as we turn to obituaries. Funeral services for William Allen Tudor Jr., 78 of Cullman, will be at 1 p.m. on Friday, April 11th at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel, with interment in Center Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. before the service. Karen Lynn White, 57 of Hanceville, passed away Tuesday, April 1st. A memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday, April 12th at Hanceville Funeral Home Chapel. Visitation will be prior to the service from 10 to 11 a.m. at Hanceville Funeral Home. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. You can expect sunny skies today with a high near 57. Tonight calls for a widespread frost, otherwise clear with a low around 32. Wednesday we'll see more sun with a high near 68 and a low around 48. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us, and remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.